Hi, I'm Eric Beard. One of my clients had asked me a little bit about power training and how to put together a max strength training program and a power endurance training program. So I'm just going to put some ideas up on the board here for using some linear periodization using 2 phases of training with NASM's OPT model. Now, with this client, I don't work with them directly. They live in another part of the country, but it asked me about it. So we'd want to pay attention to all of the acute variables: sets, reps, tempo, rest period, recovery, nutrition, sleep, everything that goes along with that. But I'm going to talk just about repetitions today over an 8-week program, and just one of the ways that you can manipulate these variables. I'm going off the assumption that this client has worked from phases 1 and 2, where they've established some stabilization endurance as well as some strength endurance. This is particularly important to improve posture, coordination, stabilization, endurance, as well as working with the integrity of the ligamentous system, strengthening the muscular tendinous insertion into the bones, working with the bone density, and developing a base of training so the client can handle the volume and intensity that you're going to encounter in potentially a hypertrophy program, but definitely during a max strength and a power phase training program. So this particular client will not be using hypertrophy training. They're skipping the hypertrophy training and going right towards the max strength training as well as the power phase of the OPT model, or the good old-fashioned elastic equivalent training, if you remember the title from that one. So in the current OPT model, these would be phases 4 and 5. This client may or may not have done phase 3, but I know they spent significant time in phases 1 or 2. Okay, so we're going to start off in the very first week. Usually in max strength training, you're using multi-joint exercises, typically with a barbell or a dumbbell. My personal preference is to have someone use dumbbells. Unless we're nearing those max out efforts, then you might want to move to a barbell squat, deadlift, barbell bench press. That's traditionally what fits. I know with myself and most of my clients, we do tend to use barbell training and provides a little bit more of a stability challenge. You won't have as high of a max output on that, but I also like how the joints have to stabilize independently of another and they're not fixed into the barbell. So if you're looking for true max strength gains, using a barbell might allow you to lift a bit of a heavier weight for the benefit of the stabilizers and the shoulders. This particular client is a basketball player. I think that they're going to want to have the stability to be able to apply that in real life. So I'm going to have them recommended at least for the pressing motions for dumbbells, and then if they want to go to barbells for deadlifts or dumbbells for row, they can, or barbell for a squat, they can do that. So lots of different ways to do it, just some ideas and concepts after talking to this client for some things that might work for them. So when we start off in week number 1, I'm going to ask them to go ahead, and we're talking just about repetitions, is we're going to start out with 5 repetitions. This is going to be done at about 85% of their 1 rep max, and it's going to go to momentary muscular failure. So they're going to work as hard as they can. They should fail at about 5. I'm not talking about cheat reps or working to exhaustion, but they should get to the end of the set and not be able to do another repetition with good form. So we're going to go weeks 1 through 4. 5 reps the first week. Second week we're going to go down to 4 reps. Third week we're going to go down to 3 reps. Fourth week we're going to go down to 2 reps. Now, as we're moving along, we're working on the overload principle. We're adding weight to every exercise that we do, so we're not just dropping reps to drop reps. We're moving down repetitions because we're adding poundage. We have to teach the body to activate those type 2 muscle fibers, and those are only going to be maximally stimulated when we give an excessive load that the body's not naturally going to go ahead and recruit with some of the lighter weights. You have to force the body to overload, force the nervous system to stimulate these muscle fibers so they can use them in a controlled maximal voluntary effort. So we're pyramiding down 5 reps, 4 reps, 3 reps, 2 reps over a 4-week period. Again, I'm not talking about sets or the other acute variables. These are just some concepts for my client to apply. If we want to transition into the next 4 weeks, what we're going to do is we're going to jump into the power phase, the good old-fashioned elastic equivalent training phase, using supersets, using a traditional max strength exercise followed up or supersetted with an exercise for the same muscle group of a plyometric or power nature. So it might be a barbell squat followed by a squat jump. It might be a dumbbell chest press followed by a medicine ball chest pass. It could be a barbell row followed by an overhead medicine ball toss. You get the gist. So during the first half of the exercise, we're stimulating those large type 2X muscle fibers with a heavy external load, and then we're teaching you to move quickly and powerfully and explosively after that. This will help to develop power endurance working with the neuromuscular system to recruit these type 2 muscle fibers as fast and explosively as possible, working on rate coding and intramuscular coordination throughout these larger multi-joint movements. So we're going to start off in week 4 of this simulated program right here. Actually, this is going to be week 5. And we're going to have 2 sets or 2 halves to a superset. Since we've worked down to 2 repetitions, I'm going to keep them down there. We're going to go ahead in week number 1, we're going to do near max effort. So that's about 97% of your 1 rep max, up around 2 reps. It's way up there. And then you're going to follow that up with, I'm going to have him do 8 repetitions of a power exercise. So this might be a 2 rep max for the squat, and this could be a squat jump with a weight vest, a depth jump, some sort of ice skater, but an exercise that he can do explosively for 8 reps. He could be adding external resistance of up to 10% of his body weight if needed. So the goal is not to have 8 hulking jumps. It's explosive, explosive, explosive. So the resistance, if any, should be light enough to move explosively, but he should start to break form and lose explosiveness by the 8th rep to make sure he's challenged significantly. As we move on to week 6, we're going to bump him up, go back up the ladder to 3 repetitions. We're going to have approximately 9 repetitions on the power side. So there might be a barbell or a dumbbell bench press, racket get up, medicine ball, chest pass. Again, the goal is not to pick up a big medicine ball and throw it, or to pick up a big rock and throw it, but catch, release, catch, release. Work with the elastic properties of the nervous system. We'll build back up into week number 7. We'll pump him back up to 4. He's going to be up to 10 repetitions on the power side of it, starting to build a little bit more endurance. And we're going to get back up to week 8 number here, where I'm going to have him back up all the way to 5 reps, about 85% of his 1 rep max, and then 10 here. So you can see that there's kind of an ebb and a flow between the volume and intensity over this 8-week period. He's still going to keep up with his flexibility. He's going to still be doing a core training, balance training, plyometric training program. He would have a built-in speed, agility, and quickness training program. This is only for the resistance training over an 8-week phase, bridging from maximal strength up into power. Lots of different ways to do this, but I hope you enjoy this one, Ricky.